Hello everybody, I'm doing this capsule in English directly from Vietnam to talk to you about the changes that the Bank of Canada has made today on June 1st, 2022 with the policy rate. First of all, it's a pretty solid change again. So the Bank of Canada has announced today that the policy rate will be increased by 0.5%. Now this rate is today 1.50%. It is the third consecutive raise that we have had since March 2nd, 2022. Now, this raise or rate increase is not really surprising because most economists were talking about it in the last weeks, and it is really to control inflation. This is the main thing that is being investigated, and right now the inflation rate is about 6.8%, and it is really driven by the increases in the groceries, the food, and also the energy. And more than 70% of the categories that are measured to create the index, the inflation index, have shown prices increase of over 3%. So even if the economy is really a balance between offer and demand, right now what we're going through is really an offer shock. We have a problem with the offer. Now the Bank of Canada will continue to follow all the indicators very closely and react with that. We are expecting another raise pretty rapidly in the next time that they will announce. We expect probably another 0.5% within a month and a half or two. It's really in 2023 that we're going to feel the effects of those decisions of the monetary policy. Now, if we look globally at the world, many people talk about a potential recession. Now, why? The first thing is that we know that China right now is really economically slow. They are trying to do the zero COVID thing, and imports, exports, nothing is running in China right now. The second thing is that the buying power is eroded with the inflation in almost all developed countries and now touching about every country in the world. And the rapid tightening of the monetary policies also make a lot of these changes. However, Jimmy Jean, which is the chief economist at Desjardins, said even though we would get into some type of recession, we are way better equipped than we have been in the last 20 or 40 years. For example, the pandemic has taught us a lot of good lessons. Now we have a better way of controlling employment and reducing employment loss. We also know how to increase the revenues and the salaries of people and support consumption. So all this we have learned, and we will probably better apply if we do get into some type of recession. So it shouldn't hit that much, according to that economist. On the National Bank side, they have calculated that the world growth for 2022 economically would be around 3.2%. If we look at our friends in the United States, their economy has contracted in the first quarter, doing minus 1.4%, really due to a big increase of their imports. But the interior demand is very solid. The second quarter for the United States should be pretty good, even though the consumer expenses and the family expenses will probably be reduced because of inflation. However, they do have exceeding and savings that they put aside during the pandemic, which could support consumption. However, this money melts more rapidly because of the very strong inflation. In 2022, it is predicted or estimated that the GDP would be about 2.6% for the United States. In Canada, we're talking about a GDP which increases right now at an annual rhythm of about 3.1%, calculated on the first quarter. It's lower than what was estimated. However, the economy rolls pretty well because of the spending of the consumers. Now, it was pretty good during the first and part of the second quarter, and the demand, the interior demand of Canadians is in progress. The investment for the residential side is pretty solid with 18% increase. However, exports have reduced by 9.4%. Now, here's a bigger picture. Right now, we have a lot of products which are becoming rare or impossible to import and export, and also added to this the problems generated by the war. And the second thing is that we have prices for the raw material and transfer material that just went skyrocketed. We have a 38% increase in April for raw material, and transformed products went up by 16%. So those are high increases. Transportation costs are way higher than they were before, and also there's increases in the salaries to maintain the people, the workers, the employees. It's said that in Canada, the average hourly rate has increased by 5.7% on 1 year. So the result of this picture is that we have a rapid increase and generalized increase of prices, and that definitely affects the families and companies. And companies definitely a lot. According to a StatsCan survey, more than 1/3 of companies will increase their prices in the next months just to cope with all this. And also 1/4 of Canadian companies are very, very weakened. So they're very weak, and they will have a hard time going through this increase rates in the next month. So that's going to be something that they will have to monitor. Like I said before, the inflation right now hit a pretty high level of 6.8%. It may increase a little bit again in the next months to reduce in the fall. Now, the strength that we have in Canada is really because we have a big accumulation of savings right now, which is still, which could still be deployed. We also have a very solid employment market right now, and the salaries have a good increase also. And on a national point of view, we also have natural resources. So this makes our country pretty strong compared to other ones. All these elements will help us support the shock of inflation and consumption. The economic growth in 2022 is estimated to be about 4% by the National Bank. Now, in real estate, the sales of existing houses have reduced in April. However, there have been a little more construction sites being opened, but not that much. The increases in rate start to have an effect on all this. It was an objective of the bank. In Canada and in Quebec, we are very sensitive to this because the real estate market is very related to the interest rates. The next raises, if there's one or two, will definitely have a long-term probably reduction on the real estate market. These rate changes that we're living right now are going to be reflected on the bank, on the short-term bank rates very rapidly, and then we're going to see movement of all the mortgage rates and the longer rates in the next days or weeks. And also the stress test rates, the qualifying rates that we use to help you people either get a new mortgage to buy or refinance. This has to be taken into account. I hope you love this capsule. Do not hesitate to contact me. I'm willing to talk with you about your projects. I'm specialized in commercial financing, and also if you'd like to talk about the new MLI Select program, I could be contacted at christian.pomerleau@ pmml.ca. And for references, for people that like to know a little more, I take my sources from Les études économiques de Desjardins in the section called Prévision des taux de détail et nouvelles économiques. I'm sure they have it in English too, I'm pretty sure. And also the Bank of Canada announcements and communication papers, and the mensuel économique de la Banque nationale du Canada in the section of financial markets. Have a great day and see you soon.